Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another Rocksmith tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how to do a combined song and or a full album. So it's actually pretty easy, but there's a lot of tips and tricks, and like sometimes it can screw up. So I'm going to try and hopefully address all this stuff that at least I've experienced in this video, and hopefully try and make it as easy as possible for you. So the tool we're going to be using is Rocksmith XML Combiner by Iminashi, and here's a link to it I will put in the description. And basically you just go here, click the combiner, and then download the 7-zip and extract it. This doesn't install, it runs out of an executable, kind of like EOF, so put it in your folder with EOF. Put all your tools in one folder, make it nice and easy for yourself, and then we'll go ahead and open it up and check it out. Another thing you want to make sure you have is the DLC builder, obviously, which if you're messing with Rocksmith DLC, you already have this anyway, but just double checking, make sure you got the DLC builder here. You can download it. I'll put the link in the description. You gotta install WWise, which I forgot to put in my charting video, which you basically have to make an account and reinstall it. I'm not going to go through all that. You can look up a guide. It's not that hard. It's just annoying. So if you're going to be doing a full album of somebody else's charts that aren't yours, you obviously need to make sure you get permission to upload them if you're going to upload them. You can't, I mean, technically, I guess you can't, it can't stop you from keeping them offline, but you can't upload them to Customs Forge without their permission, obviously. They could report your chart. So don't steal other people's charts and claim it's your own or something. So this is going to be the album I'm doing today, All Hail by Queen Kona. I like to personally just download my finished PSARCs from Customs Forge, especially because you can use your original PSARCs, before you upload them. But I'll render like a million versions, and sometimes I'll upload a different one than what's in my folder. So I like to just download the ones I uploaded to Customs Forge. That way I got the final one. But yeah, you can just use the ones that you made originally too. It's whatever you prefer. Alright, so once you get all your PSARC files, 100% make a folder, keep them all there, because it creates a lot of files, it gets confusing, and so I always just recommend, making a folder, desktop or EOF folder, whichever, and then just separate, all the PSARCs, and then we'll go ahead and extract all of them here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and open the DLC builder here, and just go to File, Import PSARC, and then go find your files here. So you got to do these individual one at a time, so go ahead and go through and yep, when you get a million songs, it's real fun. So just go through here, extract all of them basically. So now we go here and double check, 1 2 3 4 5 2 3 4 5. All right, so we got our 5 here. So you can keep these if you want. I usually, once I extract them, I just delete them, but it's good to keep them. So a very big thing you want to make sure is your audio is always matched on all the songs. So if you're using the DLC builder, assuming these are your own charts, the DLC builder has the auto level. However, if you find somebody that's got somebody with older charts and you're doing from their charts or something like that, they could be louder or quieter than the standard. So you want to pretty much always open them in the DLC builder, and then go here and do the calculate volume, and then let it do its thing here, and this will make it the standard that the charters want, which I think's -18 LUFS, somewhere in there. I forgot the number, I put it in my tutorial video, but it'll always auto calculate here. So you want to go through and rebuild, and then re-extract to make sure you get the right volume on all your songs, because if they weren't your own charts that you for sure leveled the volumes on, then they could get wacky with like the sound and everything. So that's just a thing, is just make sure you always have your volumes level matched before you start the process of doing all this. So you can use a program like Orban Loudness Meter, and you can analyze the songs here. So you can play it through here, you can monitor the interface, or you can just go here and do analysis per file. So I already did one here, this is -5.7, and we'll go ahead and do another one. But these were the ones I automatically leveled with the DLC builder, and then rebuilt them, and then re-extracted. So these are the extracted audios here. So go ahead and let this finish. And you see this is -5.8, so it's within 0.1 of the other one. So that's our goal here, is to go through all of these and make sure they're the same level. If you did them yourself and you use the same level in the DLC builder every time, it's probably not a big deal. But if you're grabbing like randos charts off of Customs Forge or something, you need to make sure you got the exact same levels for all the songs. Otherwise, like the volume's gonna be all over the place, obviously. So yeah, see, this is the same here. So you just go through, check all these, and this pretty much is required because you don't want your tones to be super quiet or super loud on the song. So while you're, doing the audio stuff, it may not be a bad idea to just open them in EOF and double check the phrases and sections, because if there's over like 100 total phrases towards the point where you get to the end of the combiner, it can like crash the game if you have over 100 phrases, or it'll just bug out in the builder and not work on in game. Like it'll just have invisible bars. So I just picked a song here that like has a lot of events in it, so you can see there's like 58 here, and imagine if I did like 6 of these, it would definitely go over what we're looking for. So we want to total out to be 100. So what you'd want to do is basically just, you don't want to delete like the count phrase or anything, but you could like go here and then start deleting all these. Basically just spam delete until you get to the point where there's none left, and then you can kind of go through and add your own. So you can like you can do basic ones like intro, chorus. So you can just go here and add a phrase, and then find your chorus and all that, and add. You want to like minimize the phrases as much as you can, or at least have it equal out to 100 or below 100. So that it wouldn't hurt to go through if it's not your chart. If you know how many, because usually I only add like max like 10 to 20 phrases per chart I do usually, so I can kind of, it's pretty easy for me to know how many I've done. But if it's somebody else's chart, you need to kind of condense the phrases a little bit. But once you do your edits, make sure you rebuild and re-extract, and then don't touch the extracted file. Just only work with the one you were doing and rebuilt, because you don't want to, once you touch it with EOF, for some reason it just will go out of sync sometimes. So I always recommend, once you touch it with EOF, rebuild, re-extract, and then use that, and that's it. So the biggest tip I have, this is just from personal experience, but you do not want to touch your final versions of your extracted PSARCs. So, for example, you extracted these and you like auto leveled them and all that, but you want to like mess with the sections. You can't open these in EOF, but you want to make sure you rebuild it and re-extract it with the DLC builder. So basically, if you do touch these, you want to make sure you rebuild it and re-extract it, because for some reason once you open these in EOF, it does something to the file and it just will go out of sync when it like halfway through the album. I don't know why. That's just my experience. I've had it happen like 3 or 4 times, and the only way that's fixed it is me not touching the final folders here in EOF. And if I did like make some edits on these, I would always rebuild and re-extract it, and I never had any issues after that. So you want to make sure you are working with your final versions that are extracted here. So make your edits and stuff, and then leave these or have these as your final ones. Don't touch them after you're sure you got everything auto leveled and your phrases are at 100 or below and everything like that. Another nice little tip is you want to delete these preview OGGs if you can. So I usually just go up here and type preview, and I just delete like all of them. You don't need any of them. So now when you go to open the files, you won't have to worry about the previews accidentally getting selected, because you'll be opening the audio files, and sometimes the names are a little hidden and you won't know which one's the preview. So that's just a little easy way to get around that. So we'll go ahead and open the XML Combiner that I had you get. So first thing you want to do is just add your tracks here. So go find, and then obviously you want to make sure you have them in the right order. If you got your audio files, you just look at the numbers, or you just look up Wikipedia and get the track number. So first one on this one's Black Flag, so we just go here. So I'm not sure which paths you're going to be doing. I'm just going to highlight all of them, but this does like vocals, show lights, everything. So it'll add all these here. And then you don't have to worry about if you accidentally, if you want to remove this, you can right click, remove all tracks. And so once you get, like all of them in here, and you accidentally added alt rhythm to one of them, but none of the other ones, you can right click remove from all tracks and it'll get rid of it. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we just got lead, rhythm, bass, and vocals. And then you just keep going down through here and, adding your other ones. So as far as I'm aware of, there's no way to like move these around. So you want to make sure you add them, properly the first time, because otherwise you have to like delete all the way up. So like if I screwed up, number 3, I'd have to like delete these all the way up and re-add it to the proper one. So you got to make sure you get it right the first time. Probably a good idea to go ahead and save. I just go ahead and save in my root folder here. And so now we want to select all the audios for the files here. So you just click audio selected, and it'll open the same folder you're in, but it's not or the one you got from. But you want to double check and make sure you got it from the right place. But here's where you get screwed, because you see like you don't see the preview here, so you wouldn't know if it's the preview or not. So this is where it's actually kind of nice to go through and grab these. All right, so once we got all these in, it should auto-calculate the trim on them sometimes. It depends on how you did your leading silence stuff. I think this is before I started doing it the right way, so it doesn't really auto-calculate it. This is one of those things you just gotta like test a million times. The easiest way, it depends on what kind of transition you want to. If you want to give people a break in between, obviously you can give them the 5 seconds or whatever is in between. But I usually just go here, and then let me pull these up. So what I usually do is I just open the audio file, and then so I use foobar. I can just get it to the point where you can see it. So down here it shows 1 kilobyte, and what you can do is just unpause it. So what you see, it starts at 5 seconds. So 5 right here. So I added 5 seconds of leading silence. So if you wanted to just go straight into the next song, you would just go here and click change this to 5 seconds, and that'll cut not that many. Yeah, so 5 seconds, and that'll just cut straight to the next song. So this is one of those things you just gotta like go through and make sure. If you did it properly though, it should auto calculate for you. And I've had it, I think it usually adds like a little bit between it, because I've had some where, because I do the 10 seconds of leading silence now, and sometimes it is like 9.5, and it'll have like a little jump in between. So I just change it directly to 10, and it seems to like smoothly transition into the other chart. But sometimes it can cause issues. So this is just one of those things you have to render it out and check a million times just to make sure it's good, because it can cause some issues, especially if you cut it too far. The notes will start like way too early and stuff. So I'd like to keep it. I think there's 5 in between each song, so I may just take out like 2 seconds. Give like a tiny bit of a break, because none of these songs really transition like straight into each other on the album. So go ahead and change all these here, and then go ahead and save again, and then we'll get into the tones. Alright, so for these little red tones here, obviously we need to add some tones. So this program is pretty nice. It lets you like swap out the tones. So here's where it can get a little tricky. So if you have like a million tones on a full album, you're only stuck with 4. So good luck. So you can do the 5 tone trick here, where you can set the bass to 1 tone, but you can never recall it again. So this would be like if it starts clean, like it's like some thrash album or something, and it like starts on a clean song and then just only goes to distortion. You can get away with like putting clean there, and then swapping to these other 4 tones throughout. But the bass is what it starts with. So these just start with distortion, and then you gotta have your if you want it to be able to swap back to it, you have to add it to the list here. So this shows all of the tones that are in the files. So I got more than 4 here, but they're all like low output. So I just need to make the low output a little bit lower. So what I usually do is you can just go here and click distortion and add, and it'll just add it to the list here. So I can do lead, low output, and then I'm not sure what effect is, but I'll have to it's one of those things you got to like extract the tones maybe and look at it, or go figure out which chart it is. So you just go through here and fill these out with what you want your bass to be, and it kind of depends on the song. Like I think on this song here, I just did this one today. It actually starts with the low output, so I would go low out here. So you definitely want to know what you're getting into when you do these. So lead starts with low out. It doesn't really matter which order you have them in, as long as you have them here. All right, so once you add all these here, you make sure you got all your tones added. You would just click on this red thing here, and then you just figure out which one you want to swap with. So these are the tones on the chart. So it's got low output, distortion, lead. So since we already have those in our list, we can just go here, and then you'll be adding these tones into the DLC builder later, and then that's what it'll be replacing them with. So here's the fun part: you just go through here, and I'm just doing this randomly. I'll mess with it and get it properly done here in a minute. But yeah, you basically just go here and swap out all the tones for the next hour if you got a lot of them. I'll go ahead and this only means it has one tone, by the way. So if it's just a drop down, that means it's the only tone on the chart. But yeah, sometimes you got to make some sacrifices with these because I've had some. It's harder with multi-pitch for sure because you only get 4 tones. So sometimes you got to cut the charts out. It just depends on what you're doing. You just got to do it a bunch of times and mess with it and get used to it. Alright, so go ahead and save again. Make sure you're saving 24/7. Alright, so now you see we got all of our audios. Cut the 2 seconds off. We got a 3-second in between to give people a break. But if you want to be a savage, you can take all of the silence outs, whatever you want to do. And then you can go ahead and give it a title. So you can do like... Alright, so the biggest thing here is to always check this coerce to 100 phrases button here. Do not do the 1 phrase per track because this won't move the camera. The camera in the game moves based off your phrases and sections, so you want to always have this checked because the camera will just be stuck in like the 1 to 24 view the entire time if you don't have that checked. So always have this one checked here. And then sometimes with the phrases here, it depends on I guess whose chart you're doing or if you do a lot of sections. But if you have like a lot of sections and phrases in game, this can bug out. So you want to this is probably be the time where you want to render it and test it, but sometimes it'll have like little black bars across, like the invisible bars across the top, and that means there's too many sections. So if Albatross is a person I've had that issue with because he makes like 1,000,000 sections per song, and then they're also per path. So you have to what I have to do is I have to open the charts in EOF and then delete all of the sections and then add my own, with only like a few, and then re-render it out and go through here. So you want to make sure if you add if you got somebody like Albatross who adds a section like every 10 seconds or something, you probably want to change that, like get rid of them and re-add them, because I've had it just bug out before. I think the camera will still move, but the you won't be able to scroll in the game, which some people may not care about. But if you're doing a full album chart, maybe take a break or something. If you pause it and try and press the go back or whatever, it may accidentally go back to the wrong spot. So yeah, I would just make sure you don't have 1,000,000 sections on your chart before you do this. But always make sure this 100 phrases thing's checked too. And if you absolutely have to, you can do the 1 phrase per track. It does stop the camera from moving. It even says, may cause issues with camera zoom in game. So it'll zoom out to the whole guitar view. So I mean, it's playable, but it's a pain. But that's absolute worst case scenario if you just can't get the sections and phrases to work. Or maybe it's a 4-hour album or something, and it's just gonna go over 100 regardless. So you want to make sure you could at least worst case have the 1 phrase per track, but I recommend not using that ever if you can. Always use the 100 phrases thing, and then you just do combine arrangements, and then this will make a XML file with them all combined, all your paths here, so you see here, and then you just do combine audio, dump in the same folder, and sometimes it takes a minute. Yep, and then create preview, and this adds a little preview that's got little fade ins to each song, so people know all the songs that are on it. And then yeah, that's basically it. You just open it up in the DLC builder. All right, so once we have all of that stuff done, we just go here to the DLC builder and new project and grab your files here. There's a 5 arrangement limit, so it's going to give me an error here, but we'll just act like that doesn't exist here. So really you just go through here and fill out your album art and all that. You can grab it from the same folder. It's kind of easy. Make sure this isn't the same. It should auto generate a DLC key for you, and make sure it's something random. And then add your proper title here, because this goes based off of what was done on the combiner. So if you want to put the proper title in the combiner, you can do that. This is just an example though, so make sure you change your sort fields as well. Just make sure all this is correct. a lot of the time it auto does the bass tuning and stuff, but you want to double check. This here isn't right. So I'd go here and change it to 220 because this is the bass path. And then just double check all these, and now you'll see these were the tones we added in the combiner here. So this is where you just add your tones. Just do an example. But you can name the tones wherever you wanted as well in the combiner. So just make sure you know which ones are going to what, basically, because this is it's swapping here. So just make sure everything's right. Double check. Select your audio here. Do your combo. And then it should auto select the preview here, but double check, just select it again, and really just build the release. And yeah, okay, whatever. Ignore all this crap. Don't do this. Always make sure you get the green check mark though. But for the video, we'll act like that didn't exist. So now you do your build, and this will take a minute sometimes because it's got to compact all of it into a chart. Alright, so here we go. We got our full album chart, and then just throw it in Rocksmith and check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this part in. In regards to the lyrics, there may be some people doing an instrumental album, which is what I'm doing here. I didn't really think about it when I first recorded it, but if you want to add the song lyrics to the top, but there's no lyrics on the charts, you will have to create those manually. The easiest way I do it, though, this is probably not the proper way, but I will go make a copy of my my folder that I was messing with. So let's go ahead and... So I just made a copy of every single file because basically you don't want to touch, remember, you don't want to touch the files or your final ones. So we're going to make a copy, that way it doesn't mess with anything. So what I do is I open EOF, and then we'll create a new song from this. And then you would use your combo audio, so the big one you made earlier with all the combined songs. And you can just title it whatever, and then re-render it, and this can take a minute. Alright, so once you get your stuff here, it should have like the silence and everything. Really, you just need to import the lyrics. So you could just do it in EOF. I think you can just go to track and then vocals here, and just place your own vocals. So you can go here and do this, and then basically just find where the start of the song is, and put the title, and then like leave it. I am lazy, and I use this the AJ Chili lyric syncer. This thing is goated. You just go here and select your audio, so we'll do our test instrumental, and this gives you like a little representation of the audio. It's like kind of like playing Guitar Hero with lyrics. It's great. I love this thing. And you just zoom out, go here, and then here's the start of the song. So you can go here and put our lyric. Yep, and then I like to end the phrase at the end of the song, and then just start the next one here. So we're just doing an example. You could do this all in EOF too. I just don't personally know how to do the like the make it end on a certain phrase or whatever, because I never really do my lyrics. But you just do that, and then on this I would do save. So and you grab your lyrics here and throw it in there. So I got that text file here. It's like test lyrics. Here's the one I did just now. Oh, popped up on their monitor. But yeah, there's our little example, and then you just open an EOF here, and then press F8, import lyrics, and you just throw them in there. And now you see, here's my phrase I made in the syncer, and it just shows the entire song. So this is what it'll show on top of the lyrics, and then basically you would just save, and then it'll create a lyrics file here, the part vocals, and then you could just add this to the DLC builder before you do your build at the end, and this will add lyrics to the top of it. So this is how you would get away with doing the the full album lyrics with instrumentals and stuff like that. I figured I'd just cut this in there to make it a little bit easier for somebody that has trouble with it. Alright, so we got Rocksmith open here. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, what do you know? We just happen to be on it already. Act like I haven't recorded this a bunch of times. So double check your sections, make sure you're getting your little purple bars here. You can see them, they're not invisible. If they're invisible, you got a problem. You need to go delete some sections and redo it. And then make sure you got your arrangements. Double check your bass, make sure it's the A220 fix so you don't piss off the bassist. Yep, right here. Check your tunings, on every path. Make sure we're in drop A on this. Yep. So now you just boot it up and test it. So you want to look for like your first tone change if you did the 5-tone trick. And then also you see here it has like the lyric of the song title. I mean you pretty much have to have that, I feel like, so people know what song they're on. So I had you leave it. It's checked by default in the combiner, but you can uncheck that if you don't want people to see what song they're on. But that's an option in there. It was below the 100 phrases. You can see it shows the title of the song we're on here. And we'll just make sure it starts on time and everything. Okay, so got our first tone change here. Obviously a clean tone. Alright, so the main thing you want to do is go to the, check the transitions out. Go ahead and speed this up. It's a long-ass outro on this song. Alright, so you'll see, it's kind of obvious when the next chart starts. Let's slow this down. Alright, so you'll see like the highways start to move, and you'll see like a big bar, when the... So you can see now it's seeing it coming, but it hasn't started yet. So this is where the next chart starts. And you can see like the lines where it's combining it there. And then you got your second one here. And then you'll see our camera will move on this next phrase up here across the top. So watch, once it hits the next phrase, it'll move the camera. Yeah, so there we go. So really just go through and check all the sync. I know this is good, so I'll just, usually want to just skip to like the end or like about 3/4 and then make sure the stuff's in sync. Looks good to me. If y'all want to check this band out, Queen Coma, they're fucking sick. Yep, looks good to me. Alright, well, yep, there you go. There's your full album chart / combined song. Hopefully, it turns out well for you and it's easy enough to follow along. Don't steal other people's charts and upload a full album and act like they're yours. Don't do that. Just let me know if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything, and hope you have fun.